Did you know that many of us, after celebrating our 70th birthday, might unknowingly be doing things every single day that are quietly taking a toll on our health and shortening our precious time? It's a surprising thought, isn't it? We reach a point where we've lived so much life, gathered so much wisdom, and often, we feel we understand ourselves and our bodies pretty well. Yet, sometimes, the habits that have crept in over the years, seemingly small and insignificant, can have a powerful, negative impact. It can be disheartening when you notice you don't quite have the energy you used to. Or perhaps those little aches and pains seem to be getting more persistent. Or maybe you just feel a general sense of being less vibrant. You might just put it down to getting older. And while some changes are natural, many of these declines aren't inevitable. The painful reality is that some of the very things we do, or don't do, out of routine or simply not knowing, are the silent culprits. They chip away at our health, our energy, and yes, potentially the length and quality of our lives, without us even realizing the connection. But there's good news. Understanding these habits is the first step to changing them. In this video, we're going to gently uncover 7 of these habits that are commonly overlooked after 70, and more importantly, we'll talk about simple, practical steps you can take to counter them. These aren't drastic life overhauls, but small shifts that can make a world of difference. Stick around until the end because there's something I want to share that might truly surprise you. Something about the incredible potential you still hold. Let's start with the first of these habits. One that's become increasingly prevalent in our modern world, but is particularly harmful as we get older, allowing social isolation to take root. It might start innocently. Maybe friends move away. Family is busy or lives far off. Or perhaps physical limitations make it harder to get out and about like you used to. Slowly, quietly, your world can shrink. You spend more time alone, less time interacting with others. You might think, oh, I'm fine on my own. I have my books, my TV, and those things are certainly comforting. But the deep human need for connection doesn't disappear with age. Research is showing us, loud and clear, that chronic loneliness and social isolation can be as damaging to our physical health as smoking many cigarettes a day. Think about that for a moment. It affects our blood pressure, our immune system, our mental well-being, and even how quickly our brains age. When we're isolated, there's no one to notice if something is off. No one to encourage us to go for a walk. No one to share a laugh with, which is truly healing medicine. Our sense of purpose can diminish, and feelings of sadness or anxiety can easily set in when left unchecked in solitude. Imagine Mary, who lost her husband a few years ago. Initially, her friends rallied around, but slowly, they drifted back to their own lives. Mary stayed home more and more. She started feeling low, less energetic, and even her appetite decreased. She thought it was just grief, but it was the isolation magnifying everything. It wasn't until her niece gently encouraged her to join a local walking group that things began to shift. At first, it was hard, making the effort to get out, to talk to strangers. But gradually, she started looking forward to those walks. She found people who shared her interests, who understood what it was like to be her age, who simply listened. The physical activity was good, of course, but it was the connection, the laughter, the feeling of being part of something again. That truly revitalized her. Her energy improved, her mood lifted, and she started caring for herself in other ways too. So, what can we do if we find ourselves slipping into isolation? It's about being intentional. It requires a conscious effort, especially if you're naturally introverted or feeling low. Start small. Can you commit to one phone call a day or every other day to a friend, family member, or even a neighbor? Could you explore local community centers, libraries, or places of worship for groups or activities that interest you? Many offer everything from book clubs to craft circles, exercise classes specifically for older adults, or simply coffee mornings. Volunteering, even for just a few hours a week, is a fantastic way to connect with others and feel a profound sense of purpose. If getting out is difficult, explore online options. There are countless online communities, virtual classes, and ways to connect with people who share your hobbies from the comfort of your home. Even something as simple as smiling and exchanging a few words with the cashier at the grocery store or the postal worker can chip away at that feeling of disconnection. And consider the incredible gift of a pet if your living situation allows. The companionship is immense. And caring for an animal can provide routine and a reason to interact with others at the vet, in the park. Now, hand in hand with sometimes withdrawing from social life is the second habit that can quietly shorten our lives, ignoring those little signals our bodies send us and putting off or skipping regular medical checkups. It's easy to do. Isn't it a new ache here? A persistent cough there? A feeling of being a bit more tired than usual? We tell ourselves, "Oh, it's just my age," or "It's nothing serious, it will pass." And sometimes, yes, it does. But often, these seemingly minor symptoms can be the body's early warning system for something that's much easier to manage if caught early. We might avoid going to the doctor because we don't want to bother anyone, or we're worried about what they might find, or perhaps it feels like a hassle to make the appointment and get there. But delaying seeking medical advice when something doesn't feel right, or skipping routine screenings and checkups, is like driving a car without ever looking at the warning lights on the dashboard. Consider John, who developed a persistent cough. He'd smoked years ago, but quit. And he just assumed it was lingering irritation, or maybe a touch of bronchitis that wasn't clearing up. He put it off for months, trying over-the-counter remedies. When he finally mentioned it to his doctor during an unrelated visit, further tests revealed it was something more serious. But thankfully, because it hadn't been ignored for too long, it was highly treatable. If he had waited longer, the outcome might have been very different. Regular checkups aren't just for when we feel sick. They are crucial for prevention and early detection. This is when your doctor checks your blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, things that often have no obvious symptoms in the early stages, but can lead to serious problems down the line if not managed. This is when necessary screenings, like those for certain cancers or bone density, can be done. Dentists check for oral health issues that can impact overall health. And eye doctors can detect not just vision changes but signs of conditions like diabetes or high blood pressure. So, the actionable step here is clear, but requires discipline. Listen to your body and prioritize those appointments. Don't dismiss new or persistent symptoms, no matter how small they seem. If something feels different, if it's bothering you, or if you're simply worried, call your doctor. You are not a burden. That's what they are there for. Make a list of your regular checkups, annual physical, dental cleaning, eye exam, any specialist appointments, and put them in your calendar or set reminders. If transportation is an issue, explore options like community transport services or ask a friend or family member if they can help. Being proactive about your health, paying attention to your body's signals, and utilizing the healthcare available to you isn't about being a hypochondriac. It's about being a good steward of the life and health you've been given. It's about catching things early when they are most treatable, managing conditions effectively, and preventing serious problems from developing. Now that we've discussed the importance of staying connected and listening to our bodies, let's move on to another crucial area that many of us struggle with, which brings us to the third habit that can quietly undermine our health after 70 poor sleep habits. You might find yourself tossing and turning, waking up frequently, or simply not getting enough hours of restful sleep. There's a myth that older people need less sleep, but that's generally not true. Our need for sleep remains relatively constant throughout adulthood, typically around 7-9 hours per night. However, the quality of sleep can change with age, and various factors can disrupt it. The problem is, inadequate or poor quality sleep isn't just about feeling tired the next day. It has profound impacts on our physical and mental health over time. Chronic sleep deprivation weakens our immune system, making us more susceptible to illness. It affects our mood and cognitive function, impacting memory, concentration, and increasing the risk of depression and anxiety. It can also contribute to or worsen chronic conditions like high blood pressure, heart disease, and diabetes. Furthermore, feeling groggy and fatigued increases the risk of falls, which can have devastating consequences. Think about Sarah, who for years struggled with insomnia. She'd lie awake for hours, her mind racing, or she'd fall asleep only to wake up at 2 a.m. and be unable to get back to sleep. She felt exhausted, irritable, and found it harder to concentrate during the day. Her doctor recommended she look at her sleep hygiene. It sounded complicated, but it was really just making some simple changes. She started by going to bed and waking up at roughly the same time every day, even on weekends. She made sure her bedroom was dark, quiet, and cool. She stopped watching TV or using her tablet in bed and instead started a relaxing bedtime routine, a warm bath, reading a book, or listening to calming music for an hour before turning in. She also learned to avoid caffeine after lunch and limited fluids in the evening. It took time and consistency, but gradually, her sleep improved dramatically. She felt more energetic, her mood lifted, and she felt sharper mentally. Improving sleep is certainly challenging for many, but it's incredibly important. The actionable steps involve creating a sleep-supportive environment and routine. Aim for consistency in your sleep schedule. Develop that relaxing wind-down routine. Make your bedroom a sanctuary for sleep, dark, quiet, and cool. Avoid heavy meals, alcohol, and excessive fluids close to bedtime. Limit exposure to bright screens, phones, tablets, TVs in the hour or two before sleep, as the blue light can interfere with your body's production of the sleep hormone, melatonin. While naps can be helpful, try to keep them short, 20-30 minutes, and ideally in the early afternoon, so they don't interfere with nighttime sleep. If you find yourself lying awake for more than 20 minutes, get out of bed and do something quiet and relaxing in dim light until you feel sleepy again. Then, return to bed. This helps your brain associate the bed with sleeping, not with frustration. And, importantly, if you have persistent sleep problems, talk to your doctor. There might be underlying medical conditions or medications contributing to the issue, and they can offer further strategies or treatments. Moving on to the fourth habit, which is closely related to overall energy levels and physical health, a sedentary lifestyle. After 70, it can be easy to fall into a pattern of spending most of the day sitting, watching TV, reading, doing hobbies that don't involve much movement. Maybe you've had injuries, or you have joint pain, or you just feel less inclined to be active. But lack of physical activity is a major contributor to declining health in older age. Our bodies are designed to move, and when we don't, things start to deteriorate. We lose muscle mass and strength, which makes everyday tasks harder and increases the risk of falls. Our bones can become weaker. Our metabolism slows down, making weight management more difficult. Our circulation is less efficient. The risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and certain cancers increases. Our mood and cognitive function can suffer. But the opposite is also true. Even modest amounts of regular physical activity have incredible benefits. It helps maintain muscle strength, bone density, flexibility, and balance, all of which reduce the risk of falls and injuries. It improves cardiovascular health, helps manage weight and blood sugar, boosts circulation, and can ease joint stiffness. It also has a powerful positive impact on mental health, reducing stress, anxiety, and depression, and improving mood and cognitive function. You don't need to start training for a marathon. The key is consistency and finding activities you enjoy and can manage. Consider Robert, who had severe arthritis in his knees and found walking painful. He became very inactive, which only made his joints stiffer and his muscles weaker. He felt trapped. His doctor recommended gentle water aerobics at the local pool. The buoyancy of the water supported his joints, allowing him to move in ways he couldn't on land. He started slowly, just a couple of sessions a week. Over time, his pain decreased, his mobility improved, and he felt stronger and more independent. He even made new friends in the class. The actionable steps are about incorporating movement into your daily life, starting where you are, and gradually building up. If you're very inactive, simply standing up and sitting down a few times in a row can be a start. Can you walk for 5-10 minutes around your home or garden? Could you do some gentle stretching or chair exercises while watching TV? Look for opportunities to move more. Take the stairs if possible. Park a little further away. Do some light gardening or household chores. Find activities that are enjoyable. Dancing, swimming, walking in a park, joining a gentle exercise class designed for seniors, using resistance bands for strength training. Aim for a mix of activities if possible: aerobic exercise for heart health, strength training to maintain muscles and bones, flexibility exercises like stretching or gentle yoga, and balance exercises to prevent falls. Even short bursts of activity throughout the day are beneficial. The goal isn't necessarily intensity, but consistency. Just keep moving. Fifthly, let's talk about something that directly fuels our bodies and minds, and a habit that can subtly shorten our lives: regularly eating processed foods while neglecting nutrient-dense options. As we get older, our calorie needs might decrease slightly, but our need for essential nutrients, vitamins, minerals, protein, fiber remains high, or in some cases, even increases. Processed foods, like sugary snacks, refined grains, fast food, and prepackaged meals often contain high levels of sugar, salt, unhealthy fats, and artificial additives. While being low in the vital nutrients our bodies need to function properly, relying heavily on these foods can lead to weight gain, inflammation, increased risk of chronic diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and certain cancers, and a lack of energy because our bodies aren't getting the right fuel. It can also contribute to digestive issues and leave us feeling generally unwell. On the other hand, focusing on whole, unprocessed foods provides our bodies with the building blocks they need for repair, energy, strong bones, a healthy immune system, and optimal brain function. Fruits and vegetables provide vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Lean proteins are essential for maintaining muscle mass. Whole grains offer sustained energy and fiber. Healthy fats from sources like avocados, nuts, seeds, and olive oil are crucial for brain health and reducing inflammation. Consider Mrs. Davies, who found cooking for one a chore after her husband passed away. She started relying heavily on ready meals and convenience foods. She noticed she felt constantly tired, had digestive problems, and wasn't sleeping well. A friend encouraged her to try a meal delivery service that offered healthy, home-cooked style meals for seniors, or even just focus on simple, easy-to-prepare whole foods. Mrs. Davies started by just making sure she had fresh fruit and yogurt for breakfast, a simple salad or soup for lunch, and trying easy recipes for dinner like baked fish with steamed vegetables or chicken breast with a baked potato. It wasn't complicated cooking, but the difference in how she felt was remarkable. Her energy improved, her digestion settled down, and she felt more clear-headed. The actionable steps here involve making conscious choices about what you eat. It's not about being perfect or following a strict diet, but about shifting the balance towards more whole foods. Focus on including a variety of colorful fruits and vegetables in your meals. Choose whole grain bread, pasta, and cereals instead of refined white options. Include lean protein sources like poultry, fish, beans, lentils, or eggs at each meal. Incorporate healthy fats, Drink plenty of water throughout the day, which, incidentally, is our next crucial habit. Limit sugary drinks, excessive sweets, and processed snacks. If cooking feels overwhelming, look for simple recipes, consider healthy meal services, or find ways to prepare ingredients in bulk, even making small swaps, like choosing an apple instead of a biscuit, or having a handful of nuts instead of crisps, adds up over time. Fueling your body with nutritious foods isn't a luxury. It's a fundamental requirement for maintaining health and vitality as you age. Next, we'll dive into that point about water, which is our sixth crucial habit often neglected: not staying adequately hydrated. It sounds so simple, doesn't it? Just drink enough water. But as we age, our sense of thirst can diminish, and certain medications can affect our hydration levels. Dehydration, even mild dehydration, can have significant negative impacts on the body, especially for older adults. It can cause fatigue, dizziness, headaches, confusion, constipation, and dry skin. Severe dehydration can lead to more serious issues like kidney problems, electrolyte imbalances, and increased risk of falls due to lightheadedness. When the body is dehydrated, every system is affected. Digestion slows down, circulation is less efficient, joints aren't as well lubricated, and even brain function can be impaired, sometimes mimicking symptoms of cognitive decline. Think about Mr. Peterson, who started feeling increasingly tired and a bit muddled in the afternoons. His family was worried about his memory. It turned out he was simply not drinking enough fluids throughout the day. He'd have coffee in the morning, a little juice or soda with lunch, and maybe some tea in the evening, but very little plain water. Once he made a conscious effort to sip water regularly throughout the day, keeping a water bottle handy and refilling it, his energy levels improved, and the fogginess in his thinking cleared significantly. It was a simple fix, but it made a profound difference. The actionable steps are straightforward. Make hydration a priority. Don't wait until you feel thirsty to drink, as thirst is often a sign that you are already slightly dehydrated. Aim to drink water consistently throughout the day. Keep a glass or bottle of water nearby as a visual reminder. If you find plain water boring, try adding slices of lemon, lime, cucumber, or berries for flavor. Herbal teas, caffeineless, and diluted juice can also contribute to fluid intake. But water should be your primary source. Remember that some foods, like fruits and vegetables, watermelon, cucumbers, oranges, strawberries, also contribute to hydration. Be mindful of drinks that can be dehydrating, such as excessive caffeine and alcohol, and try to balance them with water intake. If you have medical conditions that affect fluid intake or require specific hydration recommendations like kidney issues or heart failure, always follow your doctor's advice. For most healthy older adults, paying attention and making a conscious effort to drink more water throughout the day can significantly improve overall well-being and prevent a host of uncomfortable and potentially serious problems. Finally, the seventh habit that quietly impacts longevity and quality of life, often intertwined with many of the others we've discussed, is chronic stress and not having healthy coping mechanisms for it. Life doesn't stop bringing challenges after 70. There can be worries about health, finances, loved ones, loss, and changes in routine or independence. While some stress is a normal part of life, chronic, unmanaged stress takes a heavy toll on the body over time. It contributes to inflammation, weakens the immune system, increases blood pressure and the risk of heart problems, disrupts sleep, can lead to digestive issues, and negatively impacts mental health, increasing the risk of anxiety and depression. Living in a constant state of worry or tension isn't just unpleasant, it's physically damaging. Consider Eleanor, who worried constantly about her adult children's problems. She'd lie awake at night, her stomach in knots, feeling helpless. This stress started affecting her health. Her blood pressure went up, and she felt constantly on edge and exhausted. She realized she needed to find ways to manage this worry, as she couldn't solve her children's issues but was destroying her own peace and health. She started practicing simple deep breathing exercises she learned online whenever she felt overwhelmed. She also joined a local support group for parents dealing with similar issues, finding comfort and practical advice in connecting with others. She also rediscovered her love for gardening, finding that being outdoors and tending to plants was incredibly calming and grounding. Managing stress isn't about eliminating all challenges from your life, which is impossible. It's about developing tools and habits to help you respond to stress in healthier ways. First, try to identify your biggest stressors. Are they things you can change, or things you need to accept and find ways to cope with? Practice relaxation techniques regularly, not just when you feel stressed. Deep breathing exercises, meditation, progressive muscle relaxation, or guided imagery can all be very effective. Gentle physical activity, like walking, yoga, or Tai Chi, is also a powerful stress reliever. Spending time in nature has been shown to reduce stress levels. Engage in hobbies and activities you enjoy. They provide a valuable escape and sense of fulfillment. Talking about your worries with a trusted friend, family member, therapist, or support group can provide perspective and reduce the burden. Learn to set healthy boundaries. Politely saying no to commitments that overwhelm you. Focus on what you can control and try to let go of what you cannot. Prioritizing self-care, ensuring you get enough sleep, eat well, and stay hydrated also builds resilience to stress. Finding joy in the small things each day, practicing gratitude, and maintaining a sense of humor can also significantly lighten the load. So, we've gently uncovered these 7 habits, allowing social isolation to take hold, ignoring your body's signals and skipping checkups, neglecting good sleep habits, letting a sedentary lifestyle take over, consistently choosing processed foods over nourishing ones, failing to stay adequately hydrated, and allowing chronic stress to go unmanaged. It might feel like a lot when you list them out, but please don't feel overwhelmed. The wonderful truth is that these are all areas where you have the power to make changes, often small, manageable changes, that can have a profound impact on your health, your energy, and how fully and vibrantly you live your life after 70. Remember Mary, who felt isolated, John, who ignored his cough, Sarah, who struggled with sleep, Robert, who couldn't move, Mrs. Davies, who ate convenience food, Mr. Peterson, who was dehydrated, and Eleanor, who worried constantly. Their stories show us that recognizing these habits is the critical first step, and that even small shifts in routine or mindset can lead to significant improvements. It's never too late to start building healthier habits. You don't have to tackle everything at once. Perhaps choose 1 or 2 habits to focus on first, the ones that resonate most with you or feel most achievable right now. Maybe it's committing to calling one person a day, or drinking an extra glass of water in the morning, or taking a 10-minute walk around the block, or trying to go to bed at the same time for a week. Making these changes isn't about chasing some impossible standard. It's about honoring yourself and the incredible life you have lived and continue to live. It's about giving yourself the best possible chance to feel good, to have the energy to do the things you love, to spend quality time with the people who matter most, and to continue experiencing the richness the world has to offer. You have so much wisdom, so much to share, so much life left to enjoy. Taking these steps to nurture your physical and mental well-being is an act of self-love, and it benefits everyone around you as well. Every small effort you make to stay connected, to listen to your body and seek care when needed, to prioritize restful sleep, to keep your body moving, to nourish yourself with wholesome food, to drink enough water, and to find peace amidst worry, is an investment in your present and your future. These habits aren't just about adding years to your life. They are fundamentally about adding life to your years. They are about feeling more vibrant, more capable, more joyful, and more present for all the precious moments still to come. I truly hope this conversation has given you some things to think about and, more importantly, some practical ideas you can start implementing today. Which of these habits resonated most with you? Or what is one small change you feel you could make this week? I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Sharing helps us all learn and feel less alone on this journey. If you found this video helpful and encouraging, please give it a thumbs up. It truly supports the channel and helps more people see this information. And consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. We talk a lot here about practical ways to live a vibrant, fulfilling life at every age, and I'd love for you to join our community. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, your later years can be some of the most rewarding and joyful. By being mindful of these subtle habits and taking gentle, consistent action, you are paving the way for more energy, better health, and greater happiness. Keep nurturing yourself, keep engaging with the world, and keep living your best life, today and every day. You've earned it.